shit's in the safe. Got me a spot out the way. Nigga just tryna be safe.
Let's get to the sports talk.
Disappointing team in the NFL. When you look at that offense, there is a heck of a lot of talent on paper.
I can't say that this year because they've been disappointing since Shanahan left, really. So I can't say like this year, oh my God, I'm surprised the Falcons aren't good. In fact, I was surprised when they beat the Eagles early in the season. I thought, oh, the Falcons? Because remember, even during the Shanahan years, it was like they had up and down years. Even within seasons, it was like, oh my God, the Falcons look like they're redefining offense in the NFL to, boy, the Falcons really aren't very good. So they were up and down, and when I saw the win against the Eagles early, I thought maybe this is an up year, but never thought, wow, the Falcons. The Chargers, I was disappointed in their performance at Foxborough last year, to say the least, and Phillip Rivers in particular. But still, for a team, like, the team is very good on paper. And while I expected them to also not get it done when it counted most in the playoff,
it's like, after that loss in that Super Bowl, they still haven't collected themselves. It seems like they're still playing in the back of their heads. Because Atlanta is a good team, but it seems like that Super Bowl loss is still hunting them. It's still like they still don't know what to do. That loss that they gave up against New England is still playing in their heads. And it has been stopping them for winning games, it seems like. It seems like they still ain't let it go. Because they have a good offense. Defense, okay. But it seemed like they still playing the same song from that Super Bowl. In their heads now. It's like they can't let it go. And look how it's shown for the last 2 years. Matt Ryan had a good year last year, but missed the playoffs. It seems like they still can't get over it because they collapsed during that Super Bowl that they should have won. But it was time to let it go. And it seemed like they never let it go. It seemed like it's still going on with them. So they just been losing for the last 2 years. If they don't get it together, it looks like the Falcons will probably go another route. Gotta wait and see what they gonna do. But it seems like that collapse is still going on with them. And they still can't let it go. And the terms is affecting their play. You thought they were gonna get it going once they beat the Eagles, but no, they continue losing right after that win. It seems like they have to learn how to just move on and let's get back there. But they're not going to get back there because they're still worrying about that loss.
they're not getting it done when it doesn't even count most. They're just not really that good. And I don't know what happened.
They're the most disappointing team for me. So much so that I'm not going to sit up here and advocate for somebody to be fired. But if Arthur Blank decided to go in a different direction from Dan Quinn, I'm not going to argue with it. What do I always say, Max, Molly? What am I religiously focused on?
Resume?
What is your job description? What got you there? Dan Quinn is the former defensive coordinator for the #1 ranked defense that was the Seattle Seahawks, the Legion of Boom. You come to Atlanta and suddenly you don't have a defense. You're ranked second to last in points allowed. You're one of the worst pass defenses in the National Football League. You ain't that great against the run. Everyone knows they can score on you. Minnesota dropped 28 on you. The Eagles dropped 20, even though you played decent defense. You should have lost that game if Nelson Aguilar caught that pass. Indy scored 27 on you. The Titans scored 24 on you. And Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans put up 53 on you yesterday. Can't stop a cold right now. Okay? Damn, but...
That's what I'm saying. You cannot win any games like that. Your defense has to play well. If you're a decent defensive-minded coach, why haven't your defense played good? They gave up 53 points yesterday. That ain't good. Teams gonna look at the tape and say, we can score anytime we want. That's why y'all not champs because your defense not good. Yeah, they played a good quarterback yesterday, but that defense has to play well to help the offense. In case they do come out the gate slow. But you can't come out slow because you know your defense on that side of the football is not going to get it done. And you have a defensive-minded head coach, and y'all last in defense. That's not going to get you nowhere. But you at home watching people play in the playoffs. Because if they would have made a run and get in the playoffs, they not winning that. Because they don't have a defense to hold up when it's time to count.
Biggest thing and the most egregious thing to me, you're Matt Ryan, who's completed 70% of his passes, by the way, although it's just 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. How in God's name are you losing games? And you got Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Mohamed Sanu. How in God's name are you 1-4? This is some inexcusable stuff. There's no excuse for it. This is a guy that once took you to the Super Bowl. And remember, Kyle Shanahan was his offensive coordinator. And for some inexplicable reason, you decided to keep throwing the ball instead of running it with a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl that you blew. And they have never, ever recovered since. Something is wrong. Something needs to be done about it. I don't know what it is, but I don't know too many teams, too many coaches that would be 1-4 with that offensive firepower.
I'll tell you, you can make a case for the Falcons again. I've seen that the trend is not going up for the Falcons. I was surprised by their success against the Eagles. When you look at the Chargers, okay, so they beat the Colts week 1, right? Mm-hmm. By a couple field goals, and the Colts were still finding their way because they just lost Andrew Luck. And otherwise, they've beaten the Dolphins, and they've lost to everyone else. Texans are good, but they're not great. The Lions are a nice team. They've lost to both of them. They were supposed to beat the Broncos. I know it was a divisional rival, but they haven't been good, and they lost. If the Chargers wind up with 6-7 wins, I can't think of a more kind of quality team with a worse record than that, and that's what they're on pace for, a season like that.
Yeah, the Chargers game obviously disappointing yesterday too. By the way, we asked folks at home earlier, did the Cowboys get exposed? 86% said yes.
Why? Because the Cowboys finally going up against the football teams, not jokes of a team, and they're struggling right now. I reckon things are a little bit difficult down there in the South. We got to figure it out.
Those linebackers, I was talking to Dan Orlovsky about it, why are they having such a hard time with running backs who can catch the ball, right? Yeah. The linebackers, according to Dan, their aggression is being used against them. Nevertheless, when you look at that linebacking core, they should not be getting done like that.
No question. Thank you so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app.